candid conversations, unfiltered opinions, and humor with Abeg Vex podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today, I have Ksenia with me, and Ksenia is a woman business owner, and I'm so happy about this conversation that we're about to have. So, Ksenia, welcome. Can you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Thank you for having me. And yes, we're a female-founded a jewelry brand based out of London, and it's been 5 years within the industry, and we're growing strong. So yeah, what a short little intro.
Welcome. I think that's plenty for us to build that conversation. So when it comes to starting a business, right, did you always know you were going to start a business? Did you go to school for business? How did this come about?
I did not know that I will start a business. I have grown up in a quite conservative family where you're expected to go to school, university, and the main careers for you to be expected to have would be medicine or law or economics, something quite conservative, stable, reliable. So I did go into law school. I graduated. I made my parents happy. And then I realized that actually it's not for me. I do want to pursue a business career. I don't want to be confined with a salary. I don't want to be confined with a 9 to 5. So I took a leap of faith and decided to start my jewelry brand. The reason why I started jewelry is because during my university years, I was actually working full-time at a jeweler store and doing everything from repairs and selling watches, selling gold, selling jewelry, learning how to design, how to manufacture. So I had those 5 years of learning the industry, understanding how the brands work, understanding how retailers work, and that gave me the confidence to do it. That gave me the knowledge as well.
Beautiful. And culturally, I think we share similarities. You know, growing up from any African household, you know, your career path is to the most stable careers, the safe stuff to be able to provide for your family or support your family and things of that nature. And I love when you say, I got that and I made my parents happy. Right? Because truth be told, a lot of us have that pressure. So talking about your parents and being happy, when you decided to start a business, what was that reaction like?
Oof, that's a very tough question. Heartbreaking for me. They were not happy. My mother had a major tantrum. She was absolutely horrified with the idea. She was like, this is a big mistake. You're going to regret it. You're just going to waste your time. You're going to lose money. It's just, don't do it. Like that's a straightforward answer of how she reacted. And I could understand her. She comes from a very humble background. She's a first generation immigrant. So starting a business is not really on the table for you. You just want to provide for the family. You want stability. And I do as well. But you also want to grow and you want to see more there is to life. So I did have to disappoint her. I tried to reassure her that everything's going to be okay. For the first couple of years, she did not believe me. We did have quite a bit of turbulence in our relationship. It was a bit difficult having a conversation in terms of progress and how things were going because I didn't want her to be disappointed, but I also didn't want her to see me struggle because I knew how sensitive that is for her. So slowly we're regaining our relationship back whilst building everything and demonstrating that things could work. There's still life out there.
Right. I'm happy to hear that. With our parents, they come from a good place. They don't want to see you suffer. They don't want to see you struggle. But oftentimes, the stable career is usually not a happy place, right? Especially for parents who want you to achieve more than they've ever achieved. So I can understand the struggle with that, and it's all too common. It's very familiar. And even change of career within the same industry, not becoming a doctor, rather going the nursing route, you know, that's my story, was not something that was easily accepted. But, you know, slowly but surely, when that happiness and when that joy and when that progress and success starts happening, they do come around, and their parents, they love us, so it is not coming from a bad place. Going back into business, right? So you're 5 years in. Did you anticipate the growth that you have now when you first started the business, or did you expect for things to, take the course that they're taking right now, given that you had to still learn to run a business? You worked at a jewelry store, you knew the business, repairs and, how to make the jewelry. It's a different animal when you're your marketing person, when you're your accountant, your social media manager. Did you expect the challenges that you have experienced in the last 5 years since starting your business?
No, I would be lying if I said I was expecting the challenges, because you could only predict so much. I did not expect for COVID to happen. I didn't expect for, the economy to be at this situation. So, there are constant struggles that you're faced with every single day, on top of the industry struggles that you have to deal with, such as finding the retailers, understanding how marketing works. I had a very basic idea of how marketing works, and then you get hit with so many competitors and you realize, okay, this person is doing something different. How am I going to stay on top of my game? You need to then progress and get more knowledge and try and understand how you can be different. So every single day is a learning curve. So you have to adapt. It's very important. I think having a strong mindset in terms of being positive and seeing the good in every single situation, because on a daily basis, I get disappointed so many times. Things just don't go my way. I have to accept this. I have to see the positive in everything. Sales fall through, a retailer doesn't reply, or something gets lost in the mail. There's a struggle every single day, and you just had to battle everything. And yeah, I cannot predict anything.
Love it. It's such an unpredictable thing, and it takes a lot of grit and courage to want to continue, because there's sometimes that things happen, like you mentioned, somebody doesn't get back to you, something falls through. You have to have that conviction to continue, because um, those things are designed to teach you a lesson. In the time being, it doesn't always feel great. It does not usually feel good, but the design to teach you resilience and just to build that fortitude to continue. So that is on the sales side. Let's talk about people, right? Because I have this thing that I have to remind myself that in life you kiss frogs, including business, when it comes to hiring or having people who are experts at what they do, either to teach you or to help you run certain things. What has that experience been for you in either getting a freelancer or hiring somebody full-time, part-time, whatever, to help you run a business?
A strong team, I think, is part of every success and every company's story. I'm still struggling to establish a big team, because every time you find a new person, that person has to adapt, and you have to adapt to that new team member as well. Everybody comes with their own experience, their own baggage, which you have to learn how to navigate. And I have struggled to find a person that's an expert in every single field. I think it's better to find somebody who is experienced in a particular niche and trying to expand and extract all the potential that they may have to offer. I think that's probably the easiest way to go about. I don't like to confine myself to a particular person for a long period of time, because things change, people change, circumstances change as well. So I like to work on a contract basis. I like to create a project. I like to implement a project, fulfill that. And then if that's what that person was given to me by universe or by greater power to do, then
Love it.
amazing. If he is here to stay for a long run, then he will, which is great. And we can work on a separate project as well. But I like to take everything step by step. I don't really like to keep people on and just drag. I feel like it just drags the energy of the company. It drags the momentum as well. Okay. And people are very important because I may not know everything within the industry. I have experienced that since we've taken the new CEO within the company. He brought so much knowledge in terms of the industry and how the retailers work, because that was his forte. He was always in jewelry wholesale. So that's a completely different aspect within the industry. And yeah, it's definitely important to have the right people. It's definitely important to learn how to navigate as well and to create the right momentum within the company.
I love it. And when it comes to, I love the aspect of the contract thing, because over time, familiarity sometimes leads to people slacking or not, especially if the culture within the company is that which is great. Familiarity sometimes brings about people just not taking things seriously. And when it comes to people working on contract, they tend to be a little more serious because it's defined. And if they're serious about continuing that contract, they commit themselves to it or apply themselves to the work that is required. So I think that's a great idea for anybody who's running a business, small, big, medium size. Think about, having a level of contract as opposed to a long dragged out employment, in a sense, unless it's a key person like a CEO that you need. So going back to the business aspect of things, right? As a young woman, it's something that some women shy away from, starting a business. Oh, there's too much competition, or it's a male-dominated industry. I may not stand out. What advice or what feedback would you give to a young lady who may be listening to us, or even a young man, or maybe listening to us, but they're kind of hesitant on starting a business that means something to them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. It's definitely within your mindset. I believe that I could give you a formula. I could say that there's nothing that anybody could tell me that will affect how I feel about myself. That's not going to be true. So I feel it's all within a strong mindset. I don't know if anybody is religious or if they have any kind of belief in spirituality or anything. For me, it was definitely establishing a good spiritual connection within myself and a greater power out there to be able to find that confidence outside of me. So I know there's a greater power that gives me more fulfillment and confidence, which allows me to do and express myself in the way that I'm able to build a business or able to create a new product or run a firm and lead people. So I think being confident, working on yourself, establishing a greater belief system and not actually looking for validation from other people. That's probably a great starting point. And exactly I think for ladies, we tend to be quite sensitive. And for us, we look at other girls and like, oh, what does she think? Or how do I look? Or like, forget about that. It's all about energy. It's all about your inner confidence and inner peace. As soon as you can feel that, as soon as you fulfill yourself internally, then you're able to express yourself externally as well.
I would agree. I definitely would agree. We live in a society where the external validation is very pronounced, and the world is not a nice place. And when you don't get that, you negatively self-talk. Just had this conversation with somebody today, and it's important that you have confidence in yourself, and it's important that you have a strong spiritual connection. So whatever your belief system is, whatever you believe in, establish that, ground yourself, and be confident that the purpose is bigger than you. So the reason I do what I do is that I believe that, okay, this is my gift. The purpose is bigger than me. When you look to serve others in what you do, there's usually a way the universe rewards you. You just have to want it. It's there. The abundance is there. You have to want it. So go for it. Whoever is listening, go for it. Believe in yourself. Believe that this is yours. Build those inner strength. It doesn't matter what anybody around you is doing. Just focus. Coming back to your law education, how much of that education has helped you in your business?
Greatly. It has definitely impacted on how I run the company. It definitely made me rewire how I think and how I deal in certain scenarios and business scenarios, whereas naturally I'm a quite naive, open-hearted girl. And when it comes to business, that's probably the worst thing, the worst characteristics you could possibly have. And the legal background definitely compensates for that, which I'm grateful for. I don't think I can give you the tools that I've used from that education, but it's the way you think and the way you analyze information, the way you conduct a meeting and the way you communicate with others. I think that's the important little seed that I took away from the education that I've got. So it has helped me greatly. It gives you a confidence as well. It gives you certainty in your ability. You know you completed that education. You know you have the mental capacity to receive the information, to analyze that. So you already have the groundwork completed, which is great. You can only build up from there. So I think it's important. I mean, I wouldn't disregard education. It doesn't have to be law. It could be anything else. It's giving you the tools to navigate within the society and within any industry you're in. So I think that's important.
Right. Yeah, I really agree. I agree. Your education, it doesn't matter what is the focus is, there's always something that you can pull into your business to, help you grow. And with business, you always manage people, and people are difficult. People are so hard to manage humans.
100%.
But, formal education does help. So get educated, pull from that education. And yeah. So how important would you say humility in learning is, especially for a business owner?
I think you're learning every day. Whatever you do, I mean, I might think that I know everything within the industry, which is clearly not the case. As soon as I started working with the CEO, there's so many insights that I received and the knowledge that I have gained just from having one conversation with him or seeing how he conducts a conversation with another person about a contract, or it's a completely different dynamic. So you need to understand that every day you're learning, you need to be able to learn and to be open, to be educated. Receiving information is important. Being able to access that it's an immense power. So I think you have to humble yourself. You're not going to know everything. You're going to learn every day, no matter how long you've been in the industry. There's definitely, even if there's somebody younger than me, let's say we taken on a marketing person who's 10 years younger than me, and I'm sitting there not knowing what to do because he definitely has more knowledge than I do, even though he's much younger than me. So yeah, it's being able to adapt. It's being able to receive the information that you get every day.
I agree with that. There's a special strength in humility that people don't talk about. Humility doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. Humility is accepting that you don't know and seeking out people who know more than you to help you grow. I forget who said it, either Richard Branson. I really love Richard Branson, so maybe I think he said it.
He probably did. It says a lot of good things.
He does. Actually, you know what? There are two things. I think this is one of them. The two things that he said that I practice daily. he said he purposefully surrounds himself with people who know more than he does. I'm not intimidated. And there's some leaders or business owners, I should say, who are not comfortable with people who may have more experience than they are. It's something that's intimidating. And if that person meant to have a business, they would have started their own business. They're not coming to take over yours. And the other thing that he says about hiring, he says some people hire and safeguard information, so fearing an employee leaving. And he hires and treats people so well that they refuse to leave. It's like, I don't, I want you, at the point somebody tells you when are you resigning, it's like, where? Now. No, we're not doing that. So I'm going to segue to my next question. How important is respect on all fronts when it comes to leading a team or running a company?
Oof. It is, I think respect is important in every single aspect of our life, whether we're talking to our kids or our parents or employees, everybody. I think treating everybody with respect is a great power. It's a great tool as well. Definitely within communication. I don't like to overstep boundaries, no matter if the person is less experienced or younger than me. Doesn't matter, that you have to treat them with respect. I don't like to put myself on a pedestal and say, oh, I'm the CEO of a company, you're going to have to listen to me and what I do. I rather take a step back and be like, hey guys, let's get excited about the whole project. This is where the whole contract part comes in. I like to receive energy from people. I think that's what drives me, and I want people to be excited about what they do. I want them to be excited about this particular project. I want them to take the leading role. I want them to step into the power and actually express themselves. And I think that's a form of respect, because you give respect and trust to that person, and that's only then he's able to fulfill his true potential. And it makes your job easier, actually. You take a step back. You don't have to, obviously you do the little control that you have to do. You navigate the direction of the flow and everything, but it allows you to see the bigger picture. It allows you to kind of conduct the concert that is going around you, rather than, interfere with the flow of the music. So,
Right.
so to say, I don't know if my analogy made sense, but
I love the music. I absolutely love it.
yeah. So yeah, respect is the key. Like you show respect to somebody who's young, and it gives them so much energy, and they want to give you so much more in return. I think that's such a great tool in everything that you do.
It is. I agree. I definitely agree. So I believe modeling respect as a business owner, as the main person in a business, is very important, because when you model respect, it permeates through the company. And I do my very best to have a very open channel of communication, because I do understand interpersonal relationships between team members may not always be the greatest. And I know some people can have their own biases that may affect how they perceive somebody or embellish a story, right? So, do you have a policy? And this is based on my experience. That is why I have decided to run my company the way that I run my company. If anything is going on, if I'm getting feedback about somebody, I want to talk to that person directly, as like, what is going on, or, can you tell me what happened? Because I don't want anybody to be unfairly treated or have untrue stories told about them. It can be tasking in a bit, but I rather put in that work, right? I rather put in that work because I want people to feel that they're fairly treated. So, how do you handle interpersonal relationships, disagreement within your team, so to kind of eliminate any untrue or bullying behaviors, among the people who work for you?
That's also, it's a very deep question. I might struggle to answer that just based on my personality. I like to look at things in a very big picture, as in, I don't like to get into the little gritty detail that's not really within my personality. I don't like conflict. That's definitely true. I'm very straightforward. I think that's like my Russian mentality, where I'd rather be upfront and I'll tell you like, hey, what's wrong? Give me everything. Just lay it out on the table. I want to hear it. Like, I'm not gonna get offended. It's quite difficult to offend me. So I want to hear everything. I'm going to confront you, obviously not in front of everyone, in a personal conversation. It goes back to also the fact that I have a small team, and it's much easier to navigate, and I quite enjoy keeping it that way. It's also easier, I think, on bureaucracy side. You don't get that complication where people are able to build relationships that could interfere with business. Again, having somebody on contracts and project basis, they're excited about the project. They don't have the time to do everything else, like have some kind of bullying behavior or a relationship forming within the company. I think those little tricks that I have helped me eliminate the issue and eliminate me having to deal with something like this. Possibly in the future, once the company is growing, I might have to face that, and I'll probably have to do some self-development to understand how to navigate that. But at the moment, I'm quite comfortable in the way the company is run.
I like that. And, it's manageable. When your company is small, it's intimate. And also when you have contracts, each person comes to do their bit and it's complete. It's like, okay, let's see if something comes up that, I may need your expertise, or I'll get somebody else to do it, right? When a company is a bit bigger, and the longer term commitments, you have these things that start happening, the clicks and the behaviors. So, but I wonder, you do not like confrontation, yet you went to law school. How is that even possible?
I know, that's very counterintuitive. I mean, I just don't like confrontation. I don't like having an argument. I'm quite straightforward. I'm like, this is what I feel, like, this is what I think, this is what I want to do. Tell me yes or no. Just let's deal with the situation. I don't really like the politics and the things that go into it. That's probably why I didn't stay in law.
Makes perfect sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about your jewelry, because I want everybody to know. Do you have a brick and mortar store, or are you mostly online? Next time I visit London, I may stop by if you have a store, or just basically maybe we can go out for tea or something. So please tell us.
100%.
Yes?
Yeah, we do have a few boutiques in London. We have a Peter Unger Jewelry, who is also my CEO. He's got an actual boutique based in Marlow. He's got a full range from the Regal to the Queen collection. So I'm quite excited to welcome you to the boutique if you're around in London, and you can meet Peter as well. He's absolutely amazing. He's been in the industry for many, many years. And yeah, he definitely got amazing stories to tell you. He has got his own podcast as well, so you might have a really nice conversation. And we do also have a Central London boutique in Swiss Gallery, which is based on New Bond Street. They have just opened recently. We're in the progress of opening a location in mainland Europe as well as the Middle East. So that's kind of our projection for 2025. And yeah, we're slowly growing. We're still a young brand. Our main collection is based around the Queen, which is a chest pendant. And the story behind that is actually empowering females, because the chess queen is the only female piece on the chessboard that represents a woman, so a female figure. And that's kind of our interpretation of somebody who's independent, powerful, and elegant at the same time. And that's what we...
She is powerful. She can make others cannot. So
Exactly.
that's a beautiful representation. So for people who are outside of London who may want to browse your brand, do you have an online store?
Yes, absolutely. We do sell everything online. So it's www.kseniamirella.com. And you can find all the ready-made collections, our classic range. But we also specialize quite a bit in bespoke jewelry. So we can make anything for you, coming from engagement rings, wedding bands to anything quite extravagant. So if you want a big chain with a lot of bling, we could also do that for you. So whatever your heart desires, whatever your imagination comes up with, we can make it happen.
I love it. Actually, customized jewelry, yes. My listeners, and please, I'm going to include the website and also the store location in the show notes. So please visit Ksenia's store, browse, shop, please. Shop. And yes, this was great. This was a great meeting. And I love when I connect with other women who non-traditionally got into business and are doing it because they absolutely love it. Granted, my business is not, I have businesses, but my main business is mostly focused in healthcare, but not traditional healthcare, more advocacy and education. So stepping out, outside of law is admirable. I admire that. It takes strength to say, you know what? Yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this because this is what I want. So I applaud you for that. So
thank you so much. And it's great speaking to you as well. It's great to see females doing what they love and enjoying it and being powerful and elegant. And yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have any final words for our listeners, the young ladies who either are pursuing a career in an area in life where they feel would make their parents happy, but they really want to do something else, or that college student that just wants to maybe try out something outside of the field of study?
I think you should always try. I think not trying is probably the worst thing that you could do. You should always try. Don't think about whether it's going to work out or if you're going to fail. That's not relevant. You have to try, and that's the most important thing. Have certainty in everything that you do, and certainty is what will drive you forward in everything.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I absolutely love it. And failure is part of life, guys. You're going to fail at things. And I looked at, the word fail differently. For the last year and a half, somebody redefined fail, FAIL, first attempt in learning, right?
100%. Yes. You have to fail. It's just part of life, and it's absolutely fine. It's strange not to. I think that's yeah.
You're not failing at something. I don't trying at all.
Exactly.
Right? There's no effort whatsoever. So don't be afraid. Yes, it can be scary. There's a big world out there, but you're depriving us of your beauty. You're depriving us of your creativity. You're depriving us of your major magic. We want to see you in your glory. Go for it. Young lady, be smart, be proud, be strong. I absolutely love this conversation, Ksenia. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Please comment, jump in, and please make sure you shop. I am going to shop. I know that for a fact. Next time I'm in London, I wish we connected when I was in London, but next time I come by, I'll let you know. Okay? So I'll stop by. All right.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Abeg Vex podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. It really helps us out. We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the discussion. So join us on social media or drop us a message. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and keep pushing the boundaries of your world.